Hey everyone, welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. Thank you so much for being with me today. We're doing this video per request of a viewer who said, hey, if I'm beginning needle felting, can you please tell me how to do it? So we have a lot of videos out there on it, but they get kind of buried because we have over 600 videos now. So I'm doing this video. If you are interested in learning how to needle felt, I can get you going through this video. So with that, if you're new to the channel, we create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. And it's our way to give the earth a little hug. Recycling something, extending the life of it, and preventing it from going in the landfill can be a huge deal. It can really help in so many ways and delay the waste process of whatever it is for years. So it helps greatly. So with that, thank you for being with me. Jump on board. It's totally free. If you have any questions, let me know. So today, so how I begin, when I've instructed needle felting a number of times because I've been doing it for so long. So when somebody asks me locally, yes, I love to teach it. So, I'm just going to give you a little history on needle felting. So there's a couple of different types of ways to felt wool. The earliest way, it goes back thousands of years. It's an ancient way of felting wool from sheep, alpaca, different types of wool. And it's called wet felting. Some of you may have heard of that. Today we're talking about dry of felting. So in the late 1800s, there were manufacturers who were using barbed needles, something like this, and the needles, they were in a bed of like hundreds of thousands of needles, whatever, and they would bring all of the needles down onto, let's say, a bed of cotton, a bed of wool, and they would felt it that way for mattresses, basically for sleeping items. So that was kind of the first of what was dry felting going on. Now, someone got very creative and amended the way that the needle felting needle was used. And this is their last, David and I think Barb, or Eleanor, I'm sorry. David and Eleanor Stanwood, Stanwood. So in the 1980s, they started to perfect a method that they were developing over time, in where they're taking one needle and they're taking the wool, the raw wool, and they are shaping it into different shapes, I guess they started, I believe they started with like wild animals, like tigers and lions and like that. And so it's more of a contemporary, compared to the ancient method of wet felting, it's a contemporary way to create. So thank you for having a cup of coffee with me this afternoon. Thank you for being with me, and thank you for that question. So I'm going to tell you how I needle felt in the equipment I use, being very earth conscious. Now, before we even get started, I also want to say that there have developed from there a number of ways to needle felt. Now, Eleanor and David Stanwood, when they needle felted their soft sculpting items, they made them very, like I like to aspire to, is make them very firm, okay? They didn't make them squishy, they made them firm. So now, with that said, there are ways, how shall I say this? Some people needle felt what they call a flat felting, picture felting. So we're not going to do that. That's a completely different thing, and it doesn't work to totally grasp the the felting so that it's hooking completely. And the reason is it's a completely different style of needle felting. So the needle felting I'm focusing on is the soft sculpting. So this is the bear that I picked up yesterday. He was in the last exhibit. So this is what we're going to be focusing on, is the type of needle felting where you can make a shape and then you can connect it and connect it to another shape, to you're building your sculpture. Now, it would be probably impossible and many hours to explain all of the ins and outs of needle felting, but to get you started, we are going to go through the equipment, and then we're going to make a simple shape together, and this will get you going. So, okay, so the first thing is I am very, as you know, I try to be as earthly conscious about the earth as possible. So instead of going and buying brand new items, what I do is I use, let me just get this, I use items I may have around the house or go to the thrift shop. So the very first thing you want to work on, in my opinion, is what you're going to be needle felting on. So you see here I have a couple of pieces of foam. Now, not to get confused with styrofoam, but foam. You can't use the styrofoam, that will not work. But you can use foam. This is out of a packing, out of a box of something that was delivered with foam they put in the box to protect the item they're sending. So that's what this is right here. And I just simply cut it, and so I'd have two pieces. Now this is fill. Some people may know it as fill or batting. That's what this is. This is out of, you can't see, but this is a little thick here. This is out of a pillow. So I'm going to just show. So this is a pad, and you're going to need, people say about 5 inches. This is close to that. It's kind of gone down a little. Yeah, this has gone down a little. This is about 2. But I would say for a beginner, because you may place it on your lap or something, try to get it as thick as possible. I would say 5 inches is a very good. This is 2. It looks much more though. It really does. But so you want to get your, this is the bed of foam or batting that you're going to be working on. Either one of these will work beautifully. And all I simply did was tie them together. Look, there's one tie, that's it. Now this pillow, look, this pillow, I had gotten this at the thrift shop specifically because I want that fill. And I'm leaving it in there for now because the reason, look, now you're like, well, Carmella, why don't you just leave it and just use the pillow as is? The reason is this cloth that is covering the pillow, it is cotton, but it will be very difficult for this needle felting needle to go through this each time. So this is not conducive to what I need. What I need is the batting or the foam to be exposed. So what I will do when it comes time, and I'll do a video with you on this, I'm going to cut this and take out the batting or the fill, which is like this. This cost me 50 cents. If you go to the store, and you know what? This pillow is not very pretty at all. Seriously, look, and it's worn out, you see? It's ripped here, maybe in other spots. But I'm going to, this is in my art area. Okay, so that pillow. So that's for your bed of foam. Then you need wool. Okay, so the wool, someone was asking me, she's like, it was in the same question. She kind of is just trying to get an idea of where and what and how to begin, where to get these things. So this is raw wool. That's what this is, okay? And if you get the raw wool, and it is washed it is washed well enough so that you can pull it apart and splay it and get it nice and fluffy and really get all of the usage out of this as much as possible. This is if you get the wool on the from a farm. Now, I did say to this viewer, she wanted to know, well, where do I get the wool? Okay, now I'm going to tell you, the reason I showed you this wool is the wool that you can get, you're going to find them in little packages like this. I just checked for you the other day at Walmart. Let me show you this bag. Like the bag like this. This is not very big. It's got buttons in it, but this is a gallon bag. And this is a tiny little bag. This is the type of bags that they're selling, what they call roving. That's what the wool is called in these stores. It's called roving. And it's very, very fine. It's, like I said, it's real washed. And it's in little bags. So it's affordable that way. Now, roving is typically used to kind of, let's say, like I did with my last bear, this is a different bear, is put the roving over on top of the piece you already made wool, out of wool, and give it color. Now, with that said, it is not, there are no rules where you can't use that roving to begin needle felting. In my opinion, you will save a lot of money if you can find on the internet, and I did say I would do some research. That's going to have to be a separate video because I actually want to show you with the laptop and the tablet that I am using right now for this video where to go. But I am sure if you simply Google sheep's wool sold, to purchase from a farm online, that a lot of different farmers will pull up, and you can compare their prices. Now, the farm that I buy from, I'm going to give you the name because she is online. So the first name is Chris, C-H-R-I-S, and she had given me permission to share. She is online. She sells her wool there. And her last name is Sims, S as in Sam, I-M-M-S. So that is a really good reference for you. And she's a really extremely knowledgeable about her wool and her sheep and everything. So you can ask her questions per email and, ask questions. If you cannot find her, let me know, and I will get some specific contact info for you. So yes, it's called roving. And now the other place I've seen it is I have seen it, well, let me tell you, this is a long time ago. I got my needle felting needles at Michael's. Now I haven't been in Michael's for a year, but they typically have the needle felting needles and the roving. And now the other place is, you might check, there's a couple more places. You might check Hobby Lobby, and they probably have it. And the other place where they may have it, and I used to get my things from them like 30 years ago, there's only one store that I know of up here, but it's called Benjamin Moore. So they're like one of the original craft, along with AC Moore. These people, they go way back. So chances are that they have these. Now there is one more store up here in Vermont who I know is on online, and it's called Northeast Fibers. So they have wool and they have the needle felting needles. So, and yes, they sell a lot of items online. High quality items. Okay. So those are the places you can get your needle felting needles. They're going to come like this. They are not outrageously expensive. A package like this, oh, is it even on there? Look, that says $149. Oh no. Yeah, that's $149. And I've gotten them at for $9.99. It depends where you're getting it. And I think these are old. I'm pretty sure this is old. But the thing of it is, you're not going to, even today, they're about $9.99. So, depending where you get them, okay? This handle that I got is a specialty handle. You can see it's really, this handle is 25 years old. It's old. But this handle, let me see if I can take it apart. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't right off the bat. Yeah, this is stuck in, but this part comes out, and you just set the needle in, and then you press it in, so it just stays really snug. You do not need this handle to do your work. All you need, see if I can open these. All you need is your needle felting needle to begin, and you can hold this part. You just hold it, and you're doing a jabbing effect. Okay, so I'm going to put these away for a moment. And so it should not be, something crazy like $25 for needles. No. Now, if you're getting a wooden handle, it might be something, yes, expensive like that. But for the needles, it should be a fairly low price. Okay, so that's that. So you get your needles, you make your bed for your needle felting bed pad, and then you get your wool. So once you get all of these together, I'm just going to show you here. I believe the best way, because this is how I learned when I started to do this. I believe the strongest way and the quickest way to get oriented to the perspective of needle felting in 3D, three-dimensional sculpture, soft sculpture, is to start with a circle. It's just to start with a circle. Okay, I just have a basket here. Let me show you. You've seen this basket probably before. And because with the ball. These are needle felted balls, like dryer balls, okay? But look, you can make a little pumpkin. Some of these I was making an eyeball. This is like a Halloween eyeball. Or you just start needle felting and then take some yarn and start rolling, wrapping it around, and then the yarn, if it's 60% wool, you can needle felt that. There's many ways. The knowledge that I've obtained over 25 years is incredible, and I could write a book on it, actually. Maybe I will, but this to share with you. So this is another, I just want to show you what you can do. You can adorn the balls. You can make deco balls. That's what these are. That's what my idea was with this basket, was to fill it with deco balls. Okay, there's another one. So you don't need to worry about making them all the same size. This is a pear shape. I remember a day when I was venturing into different shapes, and I I had started wet felting way back in like 2001, 2001. And then I was getting more into shapes and whatnot. And I was struggling with some of these shapes. But once I got it, let me tell you something, it was easy peasy. Now, the thing is, when you make a shape, let's say you're going to make, you just want to make balls, you want to make the dryer balls. So you can make a bunny like this. Okay, this is an Arctic bunny, but the body is a ball, the head is a ball, the tail is a ball, and then these are oblong. Okay, now some people are probably like, well, Carmella, you said that you don't want to use anything, you know, flat, that you don't want to needle felt on the flat, like, and that's how they make pictures with needle felting. But no, this is your base. This is something that you're using to turn your work and use it to create. So it's not something that you are creating onto. Okay, so I'm going to put the camera down and show you. Now, so you're splaying your work. That might be too far down. I don't know. There we go. Maybe that's better. Okay. So you're splaying it like this. And what you want to do is start with a very small amount, because, and put the other amount over to the side for a moment. And if you're going to you want to make a ball, I would say you start with that, because these are the natural shapes you want to start with. So kind of roll it like that, turn it and roll it again like that. Now start needle felting, because you want to pull this together. Needle felting, it's important for the needle to go up and down. You want an up and down direction. Now, having said that, many times, now I'm taking the piece, because look, I got it felted a tiny bit. When you do the up and down jabbing, this needle that is extremely sharp, so you want to be very careful, has barbs at the end of it. Those barbs hook into the hooks that are naturally in the wool, bringing it together, adhering it. So now I started that, and now I want to turn it, and I keep going for the ball effect, and because I'm shaping it, and I'm going up and down with the needle. Now the thing of it is this, we say up and down, but you know what happens? This happens. You kind of end up on a slant a little bit. But if you are too much on a slant and you're going too fast and furious with this, a couple things are going to happen. It is not going to hook. And you're going to be doing that for a long time. It will not hook effectively. When you go slow with it, it gives the barbs a chance to connect with the wool and pull it together. So if you find yourself going like this really, really fast because you want to get your project done, and you find you're getting nowhere, that's the reason. So I just folded the piece again, and I'm just folding it because I just want to get it closer to the shape of a ball. And there's different ways to do that. You can turn it like this. Now you need to be very careful. You see how I'm using this as my base. I'm using it as my little work table. I'm not needle felting into it, okay? And that's a completely different thing. Okay, so with that said, I think you've got the idea pretty good here. So now you see it's turning into more shape of a ball. It's getting more firm. That's what you're looking for. And I'm just going to turn it this way. And this being free of any cotton materials on it, allow the needle to very easily just go through the wool, connect the wool, and it's not stressing the needle. If the needle gets stressed, if you're trying to push it through a piece that you've already got some solidity to it, you've already got it firm, you've already got it pretty well felted, your needle could break. And if it breaks, typically it's going to be the tip right here that will break. And that tip could end up in your felting bed. It can end up in the piece. But beginners, I don't know, they do often break the needles, and they seem to break them quickly. I've had them break them in class before they even got out of class. And so yeah, you want to bring a couple, make sure you get a package of needles. So you need a felting needle. So now this is turning into a ball shape, and I'm happy with that. And so now what I'm going to do is take a little bit more. I'm going to take a layer of splay. Splay meaning I'm pulling apart the wool is going in all different directions. If you don't do that and you have your wool just kind of like this, like you're just taking it like that's going in all one direction, and then you think you're going to take it and just kind of roll it, and you're going to be needle felting a super long time. So you want, it's because it won't, they're all going in the same direction, they won't hook. They're going in different directions, they'll hook. So those are a couple of beginner tips. So now I just took the little needle felted ball, and I'm just covering it now with this new wool, and now I'm just needle felting it gently, making sure that it is also adhering. And then I've got all this here, so I'm going to pull it over, and I'm going to needle felt that. And you're saying, well, Carmella, you're just pulling it over in one direction. Yes, but the wool is been pulled in various directions, so it's already in various directions. Okay, so I keep turning it like that. I'm going to turn it up this way. And now, you know, I really just start turning it in the shape of the ball that it's in, and just what you want to call repeat and reinforcing that shape. And so you want to make sure it's firm before you add more wool. Okay, so with that, that is how you begin. And once you can make a ball, you can make any shape, because what you want to do is, if it's difficult for you, and I can give more lessons on this too, and if you're local, you're in Vermont or you're nearby state, I can come and teach at your organization for a series of workshops. I'd be more than happy to, seriously, because I have found very easy ways to not get frustrated and to learn how to do different shapes. For example, the shape of my polar bear's heads, they come out just a little different each time. But if you begin with an oblong shape, then you can build on it, get your perspective, and shape it and get it the way you want. And that's the beauty of it, is that you can change the shapes, you can add to the shapes, and you know, you do have control over it. And that's the beauty of this. is that if it's coming out a way you don't want it to come out, you can either start over or you can reshape it. So with that, I hope that that helps you and gives you a good idea. If there is a question that you have still and I did not answer it, let me know, and I will be happy to get you more information. I can do a little bit more research on different specific places. Now, the places I named today are places I know, I am familiar with, and I have shopped crafts there, and I feel really good about referencing them, including the Northeast Fibers and including Chris Sims' Sheep Farm. So with that, those are both in Vermont. So with that, I hope that that helps, and I thank you for being with me today. And I look forward to, our next video is the Boreal Sashiko Japanese Utility Apron. We're going to start, that's the next one, and I'm loving this next project. So with that, you have, I mean, it's different. I can't tell you everything. It's just so, you're going to love it. So with that, I will see you in the next one. Today's Thursday. If I do not see you Friday, we will we'll be looking at that for Saturday. So with that, you have an absolutely beautiful day. Love and light.